everyone. This is Laurie Radecki, and tonight I am coming to you to talk about, for my Laurie's lessons, 5 tips for training and coaching on mentoring techniques for your new team members. So if you are in direct sales or network marketing, how do you onboard your new team members and how do you talk to them? So the first thing is master the art of active listening. So it is so important to truly understand your new team members' perspective. So listen to them and listen to them open-ended. Like, don't just think about the next thing you're going to say. You want to actively listen and pay attention. Look them in the eyes. That's one reason why I love Zoom, is because you can look them in the eyes. And people, that's eyes are the windows to the soul, right? People understand, they see you and see that you're actually paying attention, not that like when you're on the phone and you might be looking down at your phone while you're talking to them and not actually active listening and paying attention, or typing and texting at the same time. Make sure you're actually paying attention to them. Then while you are on with them, make sure you learn how to ask open-ended questions, and so huge, avoid interrupting them. So the same thing, don't be thinking about what you're going to say next. Don't interrupt them. Ask open-ended questions and listen. Let them talk. Now, we all know those people that talk like forever on one question. So especially if you're on a time schedule, you've got other people that you're coaching in 30 minutes, then obviously you want to stop it, kind of stop them a little bit, but you want to give them the space to answer, right? And so practice active listening techniques. If you don't know about it, Google it, look it up, learn it. Personal development. You as a coach, as a leader of your team, should always be doing personal development and learning more things. Like you can see, I have lots of books here and here. I have lots of books, and that's not even a quarter of them. And I have tons of ebooks, Amazon, the Kindle books. I have tons of those. Plus, I'm doing training in my car whenever I'm driving. I'm listening to a podcast or to a training. So an audible training. Learn things and do personal development for yourself to get better in all those different areas. So do personal development on active listening and you'll learn more things. The next thing, number 2, is build a strong rapport and trust. So the significance of building relationships based on that mutual respect and empathy. Listen to people, same thing, listen to them, have respect for them, empathize with them. If you are at where you're making, 20,000 a month or 100,000 a month or even 5,000 a month, and they're only not even making anything yet, or making $50 a month, and they're still struggling to put food on the table, you need to be able to empathize with them. So like for me, I remember the days when I was struggling to put food on the table. My kids remember when they ate ketchup and cheese sandwiches because we were struggling to put food on the table. So don't be so proud that once you're making the money and you're doing better, that you forget where you were at one time, or be able to empathize them with where they are at. And create that safe and supportive environment. So the same thing, whatever one of your team members says to you in private, never get said in a public environment or said anywhere else, right? You want them to always feel like they're in a safe and supportive environment. And so the same thing, trust is a huge part of effective coaching and mentoring. They need to feel like they can trust you and say whatever they are feeling and whatever they need to say to help them. And then the next thing, set clear goals and expectations. So the importance of goal setting, you want to create goals and how, it aligns with the overall team objectives. You always should be creating goals, create, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. And then I also do like a 5-year goal plan, 10-year goal plans, right? They can always change and you can always update them. And that's one thing I always say, like, if your goal is to make 10,000 a month, but you're at $50 a month, you need a smaller goal, right? Your 10,000 a month might be a longer term goal. And some people even get there, within months, but you want to create goals that your brain can believe that you can achieve, right? Because if you can believe you can achieve it, then you can achieve it. So create goals that you can believe. So another thing is to create SMART goals. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So specific, what exactly are you going to achieve? What are you working on? Measurable, achievable. Can you achieve it? Is it relevant? And then time bound, create a time limit of when you're going to achieve it, because you don't want it all the time out there, right? I'm going to achieve it by and a date. And then regular check-ins and feedback. So the same thing in achieving goals, you want to check in and you want to get that feedback. So, and even like I coach in several different areas, in life and business. I do grief coaching. I do ministry coaching. I've been doing it for 30 years, before coaching was even a thing. But any good coach, they get coaches too. I have a coach that I'm working on some things with, and they text me, they check in with me, and they give me feedback. And sometimes it's constructive feedback. And so you want to be able to do that too. And then, so number 4 is develop effective communication skills. So it's very important to have that clear and concise communication. So your communication doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be drawn out, but it has to be clear and concise, short and sweet. Like if you were talking to I'm talking to my grandson that's almost 3, right? If I give him instructions, it has to be short and sweet. So, and then, think about the different communication styles that different people have. And you want to be able to adapt to those different preferences. So one thing I love is doing the different communication, the different personality type quizzes. So I've done several of them. And so look them up. You can do different ones. I like to do different ones and read different things, but I also like to read about the other personality types. So that way I can learn about them, because if I talk to someone in my love language, so to speak, but theirs is different, then they're not going to we're going to kind of not click, right? So you want to learn and be able to adapt to people in different ways also. So like I'm very social, I'm very huggy feely, I'm, and somebody that's more like let's go, give me the facts, ma'am, nothing else. They don't want the story behind the story, right? They just want the facts. Then you need to give them exactly just the facts. So you need to know how to talk to them. And then provide constructive feedback and receive it gracefully for you, and also teach them, your new team members, to understand it and receive it gracefully. So the same thing, if you're a coach, that's great. If you're a leader, that's great. But you also need to be able to be coached all the time, right? Because before you can become a good leader, you have to learn yourself too, right? And like I said before, you should always be learning and growing yourself. So, but none of us are perfect, right? So get constructive feedback and receive it gracefully. and then foster that growth mindset. So you want to have that growth mindset, and you want to, like I said before, um, the personal and professional development, you want to be reading something, listening to something every day, at least 15 minutes a day. So some people can do more, some people it's a lot more limited, but 15 minutes a day, anybody can do. So whether it's reading a book, you read 2 to 3 pages. Like, I'm not one of those people that can sit down with a good book and read for hours, but I will read 2 to 3 pages a day, whether it's in a paperback book or in one of my digital books. And then encourage that growth mindset with your new team members. So talk to new people that come on the team and teach them that they need to do that as well. And then lastly, celebrate successes with people and learn from failures. So one thing I love to do is, if I do try something new and it fails, I share it with my team. So that way, one, they know that maybe this didn't work, and it still might work for them too. So, but the thing is, you want to celebrate successes with your team, and you want to help each other learn from each other's failures. So that's it for my Laurie's lessons. So I hope these tips helped you, and I will see y'all next week. Have a great night.